Welcome back to another full review by XOTIC PC. Today we have the Asus G752VM-RB71. Let's get to the specs. This has an i7-6700HQ processor. It comes with an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 with 6GB of video RAM. For RAM, it has 16GB of DDR4 2400 MHz. However, it will support up to 64GB total. For storage, it has a 1TB 7200 RPM drive as its main hard drive. However, it has two Open M.2 PCIe slots for future expansion. It also comes with a CD/DVD rewritable drive. Let's go ahead and do the boot up test. Now keep in mind this is a 1TB 7200 RPM drive, so this is not going to be the quickest drive on the market. However, because it has those two Open PCIe M.2 slots, you can put an NVMe drive in here or a PCIe drive in here, and these boot times are going to increase substantially. But I like to stop this when the Windows wheel underneath the mouse stops spinning, just to give it time to load those background programs. Let's see what we come up with here. I'm going to guess around 30 seconds, give or take. I'm going to go ahead and stop it right about at 33 seconds. Next, we're going to go ahead and look at the BIOS, and go ahead and pause YouTube wherever you need to look at more specs, but I'm going to jump through this pretty quick. If you want to skip this part, go ahead by about 30 more seconds. When it comes to the lid and the hinge, Asus has one of the most durable on the market. While most manufacturers are making their screens and bezels thinner and thinner, Asus has basically kept the same sturdy design all the way around with their G series. And this is a full aluminum lid to it with very little flex. You can see the hinges are based in the middle of the machine. For the keyboard, this has an anti-ghost 30 key rollover, so if you're going to do some arena in World of Warcraft, go ahead and mash as many buttons as you can to get your opponent down. That's what I like to do. For the keys themselves, they're slightly more low profile. I want to say closer to the chassis. They also have a nice rubberized plasticky finish to them, which I really like the texture of. Going down to that giant trackpad right below the keyboard, this is a huge surface area and has a great response rate. I actually like Asus's trackpads. And as you can see right below that, it has two giant mouse click buttons, which I think more models should come with. So I definitely applaud Asus there. Alright, we're going to look at the ports around this laptop, and you can see in the front there's your indicator lights. On the left side you're going to see your Kingston lock, two USB 3.0 ports, your CD/DVD rewritable drive, and then your SD card reader. Moving on to the back of the laptop, there are no ports, however you do have that nice aggressive styling for your vents, and then you have a red LED strip going across the back middle there. Moving on to the right side, you have your audio out, headphone and microphone jacks. You have a USB 3.1 Thunderbolt port, which is awesome to see. You have two USB 3.0 ports, and then a mini display port, as well as HDMI, and then your LAN connection. And then in the back, you have your power supply connection. Moving back to the keyboard area, we have these macro keys. And if you hit that left button way up there, this starts XSplit Gamecaster. XSplit Gamecaster comes pre-installed on this computer, so all you need to do is set up your account and start using it. Moving on to the macro keys, this launches the macro key application, and here you can set a whole host of macros for those keys. Pretty much any program you want can be assigned to it, so lots of utility there. And then in your number pad, you can see that Asus ROG Gaming Center key, and this is going to launch their Gaming Center software, and here you can control various profiles, see some specs, and you can set various things for your computer. For example, Splendid right there can be adjusted for maybe if you want to watch movies or play games. You can adjust the color profile. And then you can turn on and off that light bar in the back of the computer as well. So lots of things to do. Taking a closer look at this screen, it's a 17.3-inch full high-definition 1920 by 1080p resolution screen. It has a 178-degree viewing angle, which is basically an IPS equivalent screen. And then it also has G-Sync, which a lot of people love. And I definitely recommend going with the G-Sync option. It greatly reduces flicker during gameplay. And kind of spinning around here looking for any sort of color shift or fading or any washout like that. And so far so good. And we're going to close it down. For the benchmark program, we ran 3D Mark 11 under full load on the extreme setting. For scores, we got, coming up here, 5185, and this puts it 60% better than all other people and their computers, desktop or laptop, that have run this benchmark. So I consider this a solid score for a 1060. And then go ahead and pause here if you'd like to take a look at some of our temperatures. As you can see, the GTX 1060 stayed very cool, so I'm very happy with that score. CPU got a little warm, but nothing out of its range. We busted out the trusty thermal infrared heat gun, and as expected, most of your heat comes from the middle of the keyboard, right where your CPU and GPU are located. However, I'd like to point out right there, that's your hard drive. And then because it's the primary hard drive, all the data is being run off of that, so it's getting really warm. If you were to upgrade to a PCIe drive or an NVMe drive, all that heat would be coming from those drives, and that would be rather cool then. And you can see the heat is being blown out to those top left and top right area, just where it should be. That's where the heat pipes flow to. Also note, under that bezel on your screen, it gets really warm. And I believe I've seen this on screens before, so it's not unique just to Asus. And then measuring those vents back there, they're getting about 50 degrees Celsius. And that's going to be your CPU and GPU vents. As for the top layer of the screen itself, that is exactly at room temperature. Don't mind that color shift there. That's just the infrared gun adjusting. And then on the other side, you can see that hot air coming out of that vent as well, blasting straight across that desk. I'm always impressed by how Asus can design their laptops to move the heat away from the user and their components very well. So no letdown here. Seen with that GPU temperature, they do a good job. Measuring the sound levels under load, right up against that laptop, we get about 45 decibels. Moving back to where you might be sitting, we get about 43. Spinning around to the back, right against that vent, you get about 48 decibels. And then against, say, a wall or something where that hot air is venting to, you get about 45. Running Crystal Disk Mark yielded expected results for this 1 terabyte 7200 RPM drive. Now keep in mind there's 2 open PCIe slots, so putting a drive in those will greatly increase the speed, and then you can switch this hard drive to your secondary backup drive. Asus made it very easy for you to upgrade some components of this laptop. There's just a single screw at the top of this panel, and then just the rubber part you pull up and it pops right out. Maybe use a little bit of force. And I'm going to quickly unscrew this cover, and this is where your 2 Open M.2 slots are. They're just protected by this metal shield. So I pop that out there. So then going around, we have your hard drive there, and that's your primary for now until you upgrade. There's your 2 Open M.2 slots. And then you have 2 open RAM DIMM slots. And then you can just see the piping for your GPU right there. A few final thoughts about this laptop. I love the low noise level it does no matter where you're sitting. It does a great job of keeping hot air away from you, the user, and its internal components. The large touchpad and the large click buttons are a plus, which I find easy to use. I wish more laptops would do it. And then lastly, it has easy room to upgrade. So even though this comes with just a 1 terabyte 7200 RPM hard drive, which may not be up to your speed of liking, you can easily upgrade it. If you'd like to find out more about this laptop and all the ways you can upgrade it or customize it, go ahead and visit our website at exoticpc.com. If you have any questions while browsing around, we have a live chat, or you can give us a call. Go ahead and follow us on Facebook or Twitter, or get this YouTube channel. I love responding to all the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions. My name's Seth. Have a great day.